is the Rabbi Stephen F. Moak. He gave the speech on celebrating diversity with our faith in God at the September 17, 2005 Interfaith service entitled Honoring the Richness of Diversity in Tampa, Florida at Joe Chillura Park. These are his words over the next 3 reels. Friends, we have come here today for 2 reasons, one negative and one positive. We have come here today because the actions of the Hillsborough County Commissioners have injured us, and we believe injured all the citizens of this county. We have also come here today to celebrate the glorious diversity of God's creation. All of it, not part of it. For the most part, we come here as people of faith, people from different faith traditions, but all of whom believe in the beauty of God's creation and see God's image carried in every human being, no matter what his or her ethnic origin may be, no matter what system of belief, no matter what sexual orientation she or he may have. The majority of our county commissioners may be blind to it, but we all know that God treasures all of us equally. We people of faith who affirm God's love for all find it difficult when the detractors of diversity use faith as their principal weapon. The Bible condemns homosexuality and transvestism as abominations. Well, the Bible condemns a lot of things as abominations, like those who eat shrimp or those who work on the Sabbath. The Bible teaches us obverse lessons, both including and at times excluding, asking us to show compassion in one instance and not in another. It teaches us to treat the stranger with compassion and treat him as one of our own. But then it teaches us to exclude the children of adulterous relationships from the community for 10 generations. When I see such discrepancies in the Bible, I cannot help but ask if our own human fears, the fears of past generations, have not been placed into God's mouth by ancient scribes. Can God ask us to show inclusive compassion and not do so at the same time? You see, I believe in a God of goodness and compassion, a God who would never set me up for failure. Many of the ancients believed in gods who toyed with human beings and who mocked human beings. Just think of Sisyphus, who was condemned to push a great rock to the top of a hill, only to have it roll down again. The pagan gods mocked us. But the eternal and true God, the God who we know rules creation out of love, does not mock us. God gently teaches us. So when I see a rule that says I cannot love someone of the same sex, when I know that I can only love someone of the same sex, I can only conclude that what I have been taught does not compute, and that we do not really understand what we thought we understood about God's desires for us. Because I know that God does not set us up for failure, nor would God condemn us to lives of loneliness devoid of love. To dig out the truth, I have to look at the preponderance of biblical teaching, not at the occasional reference to rejecting and excluding and labeling as abomination certain individuals who have no real choice in the condition they bear that condemns them, but rather at the hundreds of verses that tell us to treat others, all others, with compassion and fairness. Treat the stranger as the homeborn. Care for the widow and the orphan and the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I look to the very central idea of the Torah, found at its heart. In the center of the Torah is the book of Leviticus, and in the center of Leviticus is the Holiness Code, chapter 19. And in the middle of the Holiness Code lies the verse, "Love your neighbor as yourself." To our sorrow, religion often becomes the fuel for the fire of hatred, ignorance, and intolerance. Too many religious traditions make their dogma about God and the Bible itself into idols. Sure, my religion teaches a lot of things about God, but I know only one truth about God. No words, no theology, no religious doctrine, no human thought can possibly capture even the smallest fraction of God's reality. If we could ever even approach the path of adequately describing God, It would have to be with the totality of the 1,000 different faiths' attempts to do so. Nothing less would suffice. With an acknowledgement of an unknowably great God comes the necessity to accept a broader, more inclusive understanding of God's will for human society. Our county commissioners represent us all of us, as citizens of this county when they exercise their right of governance. They seem to have forgotten that. They seem to have forgotten the meaning of community. Community is all about inclusion. The majority of our county commissioners think it is about exclusion. Government is there to protect people. Our county commissioners think it is there to reject people. Let me tell you about Rabbi Stephen Greenberg. He is the first openly gay Orthodox rabbi. He has written about his personal journey, wrestling with his sexuality and his faith. As a very confused young seminarian, he traveled to Jerusalem to meet with one of the great rabbis of the generation, Rav Eliashov. He came into the presence of the sainted sage and said to him, "Master, I am attracted to both men and women," as he then thought. "What shall I do?" "My dear one," responded Rav Eliashov, "then you have twice the power to love. Use it carefully." Stunned by this reply, Greenberg asked, "Is that all?" The sage smiled and responded, "That is all. There is nothing more to say." Let us make sure that we who have twice the power of love use it carefully. Let us tell our county commissioners that we want them to have twice the power to love too, include, and protect, not twice the love of power to exclude and reject. The unknowably great God of love gives to all of us the task to create a world of love and of affirmation. Ken yehi ratzon. May it be God's will. May it be our will. The end. Confrontations that Bring Transformations by Reverend Dr. Warren Clark, United Church of Christ, Tampa, Florida. In the Sydney Morning Herald, Monday, June 15, 1999, the following appeared. An employee of Ansett, Australia, who happened to have the last name of Gay, got on a plane recently using one of his company's free flight programs. However, when Mr. Gay tried to take his seat, he found it being occupied by a paying passenger. So not to make a fuss, he simply chose another seat. Unknown to Mr. Gay, another Ansett, Australia flight at the airport experienced mechanical problems. The passengers on this other flight were being rerouted to various airplanes. A few were put on Mr. Gay's flight, and anyone who was holding a ticket was being bumped. Ansett officials, armed with a list of these freebie ticket holders, boarded the plane to remove the free ticket holders. Of course, our Mr. Gay was not sitting in his assigned seat, as you may remember. So when the ticket agent approached the seat where Mr. Gay was supposed to be sitting, she asked a startled customer, "Are you Gay?" The man shyly nodded that he was, at which she demanded, "Then you have to get off the plane." Mr. Gay, overhearing what the ticket agent had said, tried to clear up the situation. "You've got the wrong man. I'm Gay." This caused an angry third passenger to yell, "Hell, I'm Gay too. They can't kick us all off." Confusion reigned as more and more passengers began yelling that Ansett, Australia had no right to remove gays from their flights. Ansett refused to comment on the incident. Australia is not immune from prejudice. Yet the incident shows that people there rose up against perceived discrimination. An important lesson can be learned from a story like this. When people who are straight and gay work together, confronting a perceived injustice, a powerful transformation can take place. What does it take for that to happen? We can learn much from the story of Jesus and the Phoenician woman. When asked, Jesus at first refused to heal her daughter. She was of a different nationality, a different religion. Jesus said, "It was not right to take the bread from the children and give it to the dogs." The woman could have given up and walked away thinking, "All you people think you are so high and holy." But no, she persisted, saying, "Even puppies get the crumbs under the table." This was a call to conscience, which means to confront and at the same time to hold that the other human being has a conscience. Jesus was moved to heal the daughter. This had a big effect on Jesus' ministry, which became open to all the people. It was a transformation. Eddie Bates is a member of the First United Church. She enjoyed watching the Ellen DeGeneres show while exercising at the YMCA. After someone complained, the show was no longer on. Since she missed the show, she confronted the manager, who explained the situation. She was bold enough to ask the question, "I thought this was a Christian organization." The manager got the point. "Oh, you mean inclusive." 2 weeks later, when she went to work out again, the Ellen show was on. The catalyst of our interfaith service today is this: a gay pride display in a Hillsborough County public library that offended someone. On June 15th, the Hillsborough County Board of Commissioners acted to ban any support of gay pride events, including displays of books by librarians. Tampa United Church of Christ is a small church. We asked ourselves, what could we do to confront the Board of County Commissioners? But very soon thereafter, on June 19th, our church unanimously passed a resolution that says in part, "Whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Hillsborough County recently enacted a ban on any county support or recognition of all events or displays recognizing gay pride, whereas the County Commissioners' action will result in lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender persons and their families feeling unwelcome and unwanted in Hillsborough County, whereas all persons are created in God's image, Genesis 1:26, whereas First United Church of Tampa is an open and affirming congregation of the United Church of Christ, welcoming persons of all sexual orientations into the full life and ministry of the church. Therefore, be it resolved that the Church Council of First United Church of Tampa states its opposition to the County Commissioner's recent action. Therefore, be it resolved that the Church Council will send letters to Commissioner Kathy Castor and Mayor Pam Iorio expressing gratitude for their opposition to the above-mentioned policy. Therefore, be it further resolved that the Church Council expresses support for and solidarity with peaceful actions aimed at striking down this unjust and discriminatory policy. The letter and resolution was sent to the commissioners the following week. Today we are here to confront injustice. How? By lifting up what we are for. We are for a community that is inclusive. God loves all God's children, people who are gay, people who are straight. God loves people gathered here today in the heat who are speaking from their hearts. God also loves the people in the cool county commissioners' chambers, too. The key lies in the call to conscience. You have to believe that the persons you are confronting have a conscience. Doing that opens the door to dialogue from the heart. In that kind of confrontation lies the capacity for transformation. We affirm that the God of love wants nothing less than the transformation of our community. Here is the Buddhist perspective delivered as part of the service honoring the richness of diversity, Joe Chillura Park, September 17, 2005, in Tampa, Florida. A Buddhist Loving-Kindness Meditation by Rick Ferris of the Buddhist Peace Fellowship. Buddhism is a collection of methods for dealing with suffering. Many of them relate to realizing how we as individuals are interconnected with each other and the world. A key concept is loving kindness, metta in Pali, the language of the Buddha. It's similar to the Christian concept of brotherly love. There is a Buddhist tradition of two aspects of loving kindness. Compassion relates us to the suffering of others. Unselfish joy relates us to the pleasures of others. In both cases, we try to experience our basic connectedness. There are many different versions of loving kindness meditation. Here is one that's based on a form I learned from Donald Rothberg. It can be guided, or it can be a mental exercise done silently, alone. We start by closing our eyes and thinking of ourselves. Me, this being that I am. What lies here beneath my skin? We then address ourselves. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May I be free from fear. Next, we think of those who are with us, such as those at the park on Saturday. All the colors and cultures and beliefs and journeys. May we be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we be free from fear. We then broaden it to the city of Tampa, the colors and cultures and beliefs and journeys. May we be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we be free from fear. And to Hillsborough County, all the colors and cultures and beliefs and journeys, even those folks on the county commission who don't recognize connections. May we be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we be free from fear. And to the state of Florida, may we be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we be free from fear. And to our nation, all the colors and cultures and beliefs and journeys, may all of us, in all our diversity, be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we be free from fear. And the hemisphere, all our fellow humans in North and South and Central America, may we be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we be free from fear. And all the people throughout the whole world, may we be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we be free from fear. And all the beings that make up our world, human and animal and plant and microorganism and rock and atmosphere, all the many parts of Gaia, may we be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we be free from fear. And all the beings in the universe, in all universes, in all times, in all places, may we be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May we be free from fear, just like me. The end. Over on Instagram, this reel is dated March 13th, 2020-25 on my grid of my post. There it is set to the tune, Something Inside So Strong. This is what you'll read in the description. Musical offerings, honoring the richness of diversity, an interfaith service and flower communion, September 17th, 2005, Chillura Park, Tampa, Florida. The Owl's Wing, written by Lloyd Goldstein, and Amazing Grace, performed by Lloyd Goldstein on double bass. You can search YouTube and find both of these pieces. The Buddhist singing bowls were done by Fernando Sr. The processional hymn was Bring Many Names. The choral offertory, Something Inside So Strong, words and music by Labby Cifre, copyright 1987, Empire Music Limited, performed as a mass choir. At the third planning meeting for this service, Reverend Phyllis Hunt of MCC Tampa did the three-finger snap wake-up sign in front of my eyes.
Joe, the three of us can't make this diversity celebration happen by ourselves. Point well taken. I put out a call to my friends in CUPS, the Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans Church in Tampa. Subsequent planning meetings were crowded with all the supporting participants you see in these photos. What a heartwarming success. In the order of service, Reverend Phyllis Hunt wrote, "We are grateful to each of you for joining hearts as we celebrate our rich diversity and proclaim, as people of faith, that all people count and deserve civil rights and equality. We also extend our gratitude to these worship centers and organizations for their generous contributions to this interfaith service and the work of social justice for all. Buddhist Peace Fellowship, Breath of Life, B'nai Amunah, Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans Tampa, Equality Florida St. Petersburg, First United Church of Tampa, Flowers and More, King of Peace MCC St. Pete, Potter House Fellowship, and our friends in the greater Tampa Bay community. And a special thanks to Joe Weinstein. Through his focus, passion, and persistence, this service worked in seamless and beautiful expressions of unity. Thank you, Joe."